Hi, and welcome back to the last lesson in section 2. And in this lesson, we're going to talk about how to take your mind from idle to ideal. Now, you remember the old saying that idle minds are the devil's workshop? Well, it might not be quite that bad, but an idle mind is a breeding ground for limiting programs. That's right, because here's the thing. When we're idle, and by an idle mind I mean when we're driving to work or we're in the coffee shop or maybe we're walking through the grocery aisles, right? We're just kind of thinking along, we're not really focused, and we're buzzing along, and here's what generally happens. Because we're programmed up here to focus on the threat or the problem, we tend to do just that when our minds are idle and we don't have conscious focus on something, right? So we'll go along and we'll grumble about this, or we'll think about what could be the worst case of that, or how we're going to handle this situation. You know, I used to walk around everywhere and I'd think about what had ticked me off and what client or what I needed to get done, and I'd grumble and I'd get on my soapbox and I'd practice all the things I was going to say, and then all the things they could say back, and then what I was going to say back to them. And it was never about how easy and effortlessly it was going to flow for me to get them to do what was the right thing. It was always about the war, the battle, all the threats. And of course, from the grumpy guys and the guys that didn't like me as a woman, it was going to be worse. So I imagined everything I was going to say. Not a good thing for your programming. It's pre-paving in your unconscious mind and telling your unconscious mind that that kind of trial, tribulation, problem, angst is what you expect. And as we've learned, whatever you expect is what your unconscious mind is going to bring you. So one of the things we need to do to bring our unconscious mind into a fully positive flow is to transition our idle time, all right? And I talk about idle to ideal because idle mind time is the ideal time to think about and focus on what you want. So here are some suggestions I have for idle time, all right, and how to begin to use it as a programming tool as well. So first of all, I have a busy list, right? I keep a list of everything I need to think about, right? So whether it's a strategy or how I'm going to handle a certain thing on a course or something new I want to do for you guys and I'm trying to understand how I'm going to do it, I keep a list of all the things I want to think about. And then when I take off to go drive somewhere or I go to run errands or whatever, I bring that list and I pick a few things and I start working on them while I'm in idle time. So I'm focused on something that I need to resolve and that I need to think about. And I've got my mind focused on something so it's not wandering off to grumble and grouch, which I don't do that much of anymore, but it doesn't give it the opportunity to do that at all. All right? Now, the second thing you can do is you can begin to program your focus. And now we're going to start to work a little bit on focus, all right? So pick something that you would like to create in your life, something simple. And by the way, this is an exercise 4 of this section's exercises. So pick something pretty simple that you want and then follow the exercises, which are basically to just focus on it, imagine it, see it in all its different angles, and make it something really simple. All right, we want to start with simple, but maybe it's a purple car, maybe it's a blue butterfly, maybe it's a whatever, but something that when it comes into your life, you're going to know that you created it. But also make that something that in your idle mind time, if you don't want to think about something on your busy list, then just focus on that simple thing and what you want. Now, the other thing I want you to do is every day, I want you to pick 15 minutes when you would normally have idle mind time. And this is probably when you go to work, when you run errands, something, right? Sometime in the car is a good time. I want you to begin to focus on something that is really important to you, and that is your future. What do you want your future to look like? What is your dream? What is your biggest dream of all? What would be your perfect life? I want you to begin to just spend your idle time focusing on your busy list, the things you need to do to stay productive with your mind, the things you need to accomplish, right? On your simple program, something you just want to appear, and then I want you to daydream. I want you to daydream about what your perfect, most incredible dream life is, and I want you to pay attention to what it is and note it, and just keep going back to that dream 15 minutes a day as you're driving, as you're doing idle time somewhere, and focus on it, all right? So begin to reprogram that idle time into your ideal time, and And then we will be back next with section 3 and we'll go forward.